Welcome to Wealthing Talks. I am your host, Alicia Castillo Holley, bringing you real-life conversations from Silicon Valley or somewhere around the world. We will talk about disruptors, angel investments, venture capital, and of course, family offices. Join me along with my children, their families, friends, disruptors, and investors as we explore the fascinating world of creating wealth in a completely different and authentic way. Hello, everyone. It is such an absolute pleasure to introduce Catherine Gray to you. Catherine, thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us. I've been following you for ages. I met you. You were part of the investment club. You were investing. You do the She Angels, show her the money. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I hold you in the highest regard. I just think what you've done in your lifetime is amazing. And I really look up to you and I've learned so much from you. So it's my honor to be on your podcast.
Well, and I was in your podcast long time ago when I started the club. So this is absolutely fantastic. So, Catherine, how did you get to be here? How was the path? And then I'll ask you, what is it that you are doing now and what is the future? But how did you get to be here doing this?
You know, it all started really at a young age. I always said to myself, I always want to be doing something that I love, that I feel passionate about. I see too many people do jobs they don't really want to be doing, and I never wanted that to be me. And I just really have been so blessed that I have always gone after working on things that mattered to me. So I had a very successful career in cable television advertising, and I loved every minute of it. And I learned so much from doing that about raising money and getting sponsors and advertising and all the things that I actually needed to learn to do what I'm doing today. So one of my first things I did was I had realized that, you know, I think it's film and television that helps change culture. And I had studied broadcasting in college and really have always been such a film enthusiast, and I love it. And so the very first thing, well, one of the very first things I did was I made a movie called I Can't Marry You. And it was about the fact that gay people could not get married at the time. So it was about the 1,000 rights and benefits and protections that federal laws provide to married couples that gay people weren't getting. And I did this because I do believe it's film and television that helps change culture, because in an engaging, entertaining storytelling kind of way, it helps people learn about a problem that needs to be solved. And so it raises awareness. And so many years after I made that movie, we were then allowed to get married, right? And I thought, wow, this is really powerful. It is film and TV that helps educate people and raise awareness and changes culture. So when I came across this problem about a decade ago, I was putting on women's empowerment events and decided that rather than just focus on LGBTQ, that I thought it was really important that women not separate themselves and say, well, here's our gay group, and here's our Black group, and here's our Asian group. I think it's so important that women come together and help each other. And I wanted to head up that sort of a movement where people felt welcome to my events. And I started off with the Live, Love, Thrive event, having great speakers, and then pivoted into having a pitch fest of women investing in women and filming that, which was the She Angel series. It's still on YouTube, because I thought, let's capture in film this journey of trying to get funding and what else you need other than funding, and how having other women support your endeavor and believe in you actually helps perpetuate you forward. And I wanted to capture all that in film. So that's what I did. And in the course of doing that, I came to meet incredible women like Alicia who were in the venture capital space. And I started learning about it. And I was like, what do you mean we only get 2%? Does that mean men get 98%? And they're like, yes, it does. And I'm like, this is crazy. How could this even be? And then once again, it kicked in, it's film and television that helps change this. And that's when I said, you know what? I've got to find a group of like-minded women and men that believe like I do, that it is film that helps raise awareness and change things. And I believe we're on the precipice of starting that change, which will probably take a decade. But I do feel that educating people about it in an entertaining way is a start in the right direction. Oh, you're on mute.
Of course, I'm on mute. This is, I wish I had that
Keep
without.
that in there.
Ah, the other thing is, oh, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. There's a problem with the speaker. Yeah. No, but this is fascinating because, when I was a little kid, I'm 64, so 50 years ago, or actually, I wouldn't say 60, but like 55 years ago when I was 18, it was unthinkable that a woman would launch a company and would try to get venture capital. Women would follow their husbands or their parents or their father. And the trajectory to becoming a powerful woman entrepreneur or a manager of a company, of a large company, was usually that the husband had died and the woman had taken over. And we didn't think anything about that. And, people forget we just didn't think anything about that. There were times where women couldn't have a checking account. I lived in one country and I couldn't have a checking account without my husband's permission. The funny thing is I was divorced. So, and my husband had never been to that country. Oh, actually my ex-husband. So we don't think we have made progress, but we have made progress.
Yes, and we addressed that in the movie, the Show Her the Money movie, is that, yeah, women couldn't get credit either without a man's signature. It wasn't that long ago. It's so crazy. And now here we are, heads of CEOs of companies, of Fortune 500 companies, creating billion-dollar businesses. Now we know what we're capable of. We have to take that opportunity to keep that momentum going, right?
Yes, and then we see the role models. So it becomes a possibility, whereas before it wasn't even a possibility. It wasn't a
Right.
possibility that a woman could aspire to be a president. And I'm not talking about the US, I'm talking worldwide. It
Yeah.
wasn't a possibility that two gay people could fall in love and get married. They could fall in love, but we have made progress, but there's still work to do. Now that is going to lead me to the next question is, did you ever think that you couldn't do something?
I would say I always think everything's possible because there's a power greater than ourselves that can make anything possible. I'd say the only thing I have thought sometimes is for some reason this isn't falling into place and I need to listen to my gut and pivot. So I do think sometimes people need to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's that hard, maybe you're not doing something right. Maybe you haven't talked to the right people and you have to pivot. So I always think everything's possible, but I also think that we can't think it's the way we have in our head. It may be that what we want to create, the universe has a different plan of what that looks like. So we can't be so stubborn as to think that it has to unfold the way we thought it would. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you focus on the goal, not on the what, not the how.
Exactly.
That's
And
very
sometimes
important.
not even on the what. You might say, oh, I want to do this. And then it might be that, but in a different form.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I used to teach entrepreneurship, and one of my classes was a product that I have made up. That is a flying shoes. And then I said, you might have to change the goal. And then I had the students come up with uses for the flying shoes. And then I show them that it depends very much on you, and you and the technology create the reality. It's not isolated. So you have to bring something. And that's the foundation of pivoting is you have to have some form of leverage with something that you know, or somebody that you know, or some money or something like that. But is there anything that you have learned that you didn't know? If you had to write yourself a note when you were 20 years younger, is there one thing that you said, you know what, this is what I would have told myself, uh, that is, part of the wisdom of doing things?
Yes. I think I would tell myself, stop trying to make not your people your people. Yeah, you're wasting your time. So if you're out there and you're telling someone about your great idea or innovation and you're looking for funding and they're not getting it and they don't resonate with you, why do you keep expending your energy trying to convince them when there's somebody else who's going to be like, oh my God, that's genius. How can I help you? And so, I mean, I just think you could save some time if you just look for like-minded people that really resonate with you.
Oh my gosh, I get goosebumps because this is such a huge piece of advice, because so many people are like banging into the wrong wall and breaking themselves, not breaking the wall. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
Wow.
and you know what? I want to give credit where credit is due. So I took a woman's weekend class with a woman named Andrea Quinn. It's called the Quinn Essentials. In fact, it's coming up in LA and New York. And that's where that seed was planted with that ideology. And I said, I kind of had that aha moment that Oprah talks about. That aha moment was like, wow, this is profound, and I'm really going to take that and run with it. And I wish I knew this when I was younger.
I'm gonna take that. I'm actually gonna take that because I'm banging my head towards the wall in some of our investments, and I'm gonna take that. So thank you very, very much for that.
Welcome. And I think the other thing, if I were to share one other thing, another friend of mine shared this with me and it stuck with me forever. And that is, human beings are the only ones that can change their thoughts. My friend Mary Hank told me this, is that if you don't like the way you're feeling, then you can easily just go in your mind and understand that you can change your thoughts, because you can't have a feeling without having a thought. So if you're
Mhm.
not liking the way you're feeling, check in with your thoughts and change them. And that is something that human beings can do. You can change your thoughts. And then, the outcome is you're going to feel better. So I also think that's extremely powerful.
That is fantastic. I do use that, and I think for me, gratitude is a big part of my life. And
Yes.
as we were talking earlier, I'm so grateful to have the life that I have. I work very hard for it, but I'm also very blessed, very grateful for that.
Mhm.
And I think just having that perception about what we're grateful for just eases the stress, makes me kinder to other people, but also makes me happier. And then, yeah, that's changing your thoughts. It's really, really important. The other thing is, I don't really believe in the imposter syndrome, but that's because where I grew up, we have the opposite. We have the delusion of positivism and optimism. So I'm an incurable optimist. And a friend of mine said, "You're a hopeless optimist." I said, "No, no, no. I'm not. There's nothing hopeless. I'm just incurable." But I think that that recognition that the way you see yourself is really important in your life and in your well-being, and being respectful of yourself. It's aligned those wisdom, that wisdom that you just spoke about, because at the end, what's more important is how you think and how you feel about yourself.
100%. And I do think our culture cultivates in women a lack of self-esteem.
Yes.
And that is one of the things that women culturally have to overcome.
Hmm.
And I think it's definitely on the rise and starting to change a lot. But, just a couple decades ago, like you said, when women didn't have so many rights, it made them feel less than. And so now that they have more rights and they can feel more empowered and do what makes their soul sing,
Hmm.
that's going to make people feel more confident and happy. So it's been a beautiful transition that's happened over the last couple of decades for women.
Yes, yes. And again, we're going back to the role models. Like it always surprised me when people say, well, how dare you? How dare you think that way? How dare you have those dreams? And I'm like, what do you mean, how dare me? If I were a guy, you wouldn't ask me. And I'm Latina, but like my sister says, we have the white costume on because our parents are not um, from Latin America, but they met and they live there. I grew up in Venezuela, so I have that culture, that bicultural upbringing, and people see me as a white woman until they see my name, Alicia Castillo. But it is interesting how society sort of makes us wonder, do I have the right to dream that way? And it's not just women, it's pretty much any non-white guy.
Mhm.
The same with blacks, the same with Hispanics, the same with Muslims, same with gays. Do I have the right to feel that this is my dream, this is my goal, this is what I want to do? And that
Yeah.
is something we still have to work on that. And I do think that part of what we need to do is educate society to acknowledge that we have the right to be whoever we want to be, um, and have our respect our goals in the same way. And I think we still are going there. But your film is pretty good at that. So tell us about the Show Her the Money film, which has been such a great success. I'm so impressed, but I never doubted it. But it's way beyond what I thought you could. I mean,
Well,
you took it all over the world. Tell us a little bit more about that.
thank you. Yes, we have taken it on a 100-city tour. U.S. News and World Report says it is one of the 10 best financial films of the decade, which was such a wonderful accolade. We're super grateful for that. We did the film festivals before we did any of the 100-city tour, and won many awards at those. And I think the reason it's been so well embraced is um, that people get to learn about the fascinating world of venture capital, but in an exciting storytelling way that humanizes it and makes it fascinating. And so that's, I think, the magic of it is wherever we've been, we have in the room entrepreneurs, investors, people starting funds, and they all resonate with that storyline because nobody's really told that story. So they're kind of in a arena that they don't feel seen and heard. And so we've kind of started to make them feel seen and heard. And it's very exciting for everybody involved. And then the audiences that have always thought of venture as like this mysterious thing and I couldn't possibly invest in it or get funding from it, it makes it more accessible, more real to learn how it's not as difficult to understand as you thought it was, and way more interesting. And gee, that so many people that are there watching the movie actually can be investors in it, because so many accredited investors attend the film. So, we've picked up new investors in that asset class in every city that we've been in. So it's exciting to see that momentum continuing to build.
Yeah, that's fair. And it's not just women watching and women investing, it's anybody
Yes.
understanding. Yeah, that's what I thought was fantastic. Do you have any favorite story? And how many shows have you made?
Well, we've done a couple hundred screenings in about 100, little over 100 cities. Um, some favorites, we were at the University of Washington, and we had about 400 people. It was a mix of alumni and people in the VC industry and students. It was a wonderful mix. We have a testimonial video from that. The energy in the room wherever we've been has been palpable, but I'd say that was one of the standouts. London was amazing, tremendous energy. Also in Ireland and Australia, as well as cities here in the US, of course, New York, LA, and then the Midwest. I just got back from Minneapolis. We've been there now 3 times. So yes, and it's so wonderful for me on this trip to learn about the Midwest and to meet people in the Midwest. There's a lot of money to be invested in the Midwest, and a lot of brilliant women with creative ideas and innovations. And I think the Midwest has been really overlooked because most of the venture has happened on each coast. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's good that we're raising awareness about that too.
That's fantastic. And even in small towns in California, the first time I watched it, it was in a small town here. And I could see the change in people's life. And we're like, what, an hour and a half, 2 hours from Silicon Valley, but it's just a different world. And I think that was so wonderful to observe, to bring that, world of possibilities to other people. That's really, you're absolutely right in that the filmmaking, the movies, they change cultures. That's fantastic. What is the
And
future now?
I will say this, you come from Silicon Valley. I mean, you were, one of the first woman to be part of the Sandhill Angels. That was a huge deal and been a real trailblazer in this space. I would say the majority of people from Silicon Valley who are used to investing in tech and, want to make money. And I can, that certainly makes a lot of sense. But I think we have to broaden the awareness to this community that it is important to invest in the arts because the arts
Yep.
are what change things. So if we didn't make movies like this and things like that to raise awareness and educate people, then we would be stuck at that 2% forever. And so the arts are really important to cultural change, not just about venture capital, but about the environment, the climate change, all of these issues that we're facing. Um, Film and television is a very powerful way, and theater as well, the arts, to educate people in an entertaining way about solutions to these problems.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with that. And fortunately, there are VCs and there are investors that are focusing on arts. And
Yeah,
we used to have the mecenas, I don't know the name in English, but the people that would invest in, that would support artists. And now you have the museums for the benefit of everybody. So I could never afford one of the museum pieces, but I could go to a museum and enjoy it. So
there you go.
that adds a lot of value. Um, I also think that, well, personally, I think venture capital is broken. We need to change it, and that's what I'm working on now. So that's my, let's go, how I am. If I don't like something, I said, okay, let's see if we can fix it. Yeah, we can fix it. So let's go and fix it and execute. But you started this movement. Let's go back to Show Her the Money. What are the next steps? What is happening next? And how do people that are watching or listening and have never had the opportunity, how can they connect with the movie, see the movie, and what are the next steps? What else can we do?
Sure. So, first of all, I call it a movie and a movement. So we've coined it a movement. So anybody can join the movement by going to our website. It's showherthemoneymovie.com. Lots of resources on there, to how you could get started in learning investing, learning, there's workshops, there's books, there's podcasts, all listed on our site to help you get started. Also, we're working on an educational program for high schools and colleges. and a spin-off docuseries that we would like to do in order to have more programming about this. I always say it's kind of like what Shark Tank did for angel investing, which it entertained people, and in the process of entertaining them, they automatically learned about angel investing, is what we want to do with venture capital. So I think you'll see more and more programming out there now about entrepreneurs and how this works. Because more and more people want to be entrepreneurs, right? Especially this Gen Z generation, as well as millennials. So there should be more programming out there about it. So all of those things are part of our growing our movement. And of course, our book just came out, Show Her the Money, which is on Amazon or wherever you get books. And that is the 30 plus stories of the people that not only were in the movie, but also helped make the movie possible. I call them the associate producers / investors. It wouldn't have been possible without them. And I got to thinking, oh my gosh, they all have such incredible stories that this would make a great book. So every chapter is a short story about each one of those people and their incredible journey. Super inspiring. And we've had a lot of great luck with that. It's been #1 on Amazon, and we have it in hardback and paperback on Amazon, and then it'll be coming out next month on audio. And there's a well-known actress that's one of our executive producers. Her name is Sharon Gless. She's an Emmy Award-winning, Golden Globe-winning actress. With a lot of people know her from Cagney and Lacey, also a very groundbreaking show for women. It changed the way the face of television for women, because her and Tyne Daly were the first women ever to be leads in a drama series.
Wow.
You know, for your listeners, can you believe that no
Wow.
TV show had women as the leads? I
And it
know.
was not that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago. This was like the
We
80s.
are making
Yeah.
progress. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she did the foreword for our book. And of course, she's in the movie. And then she also recorded the audio for us. So everybody's really going to love that. Her voice is amazing. She also did several other shows like Queer as Folk and Burn Notice, and people know her from all of these amazing shows. So really lucky to have her involved. And then just amazing people, others that are involved in the film. So if you haven't seen the film, our screenings are listed on our website. You can also book a screening on our website as we continue to allow people to have groups and show it in theaters or at their university or whatever. And then come March, we'll be streaming it on Amazon. But I will say the excitement is getting together in a room with your group or your corporation and watching it on the big screen together. There's a real magic in that, and having an opportunity then to talk about it and ask questions. And, you know, that's really why it's been a grassroots movement through this year.
It's building a tribe. Yeah, this is very timely because I'm going to Zurich and I'm going to talk to a group of women investors. And I told them about the movie. I have one book. That book, by the way, for the audience, is a great gift. It's a great gift. So it's very well written. You can just sit down and have a cup of coffee or tea or a glass of wine and just read 1 or 2 stories. And it's so inspiring. So thank you for doing that. But it's a great gift. So just don't buy one for yourself. Buy some to give away as gifts.
There
So
you go.
I'm going to bring one to Zurich for at the end of the month. One last thing, and this is the wrapping question. I don't know if you know that when I was 13, I fell off a horse and I died. I was in coma, and so I look at myself there dead. And I'm like, oh, gosh, I died. I never had. The first thing that came to my mind is I never had a boyfriend. I'd like working with cells. I was already working in the lab, and I'm like, oh, I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that. That's stupid of me. And then I woke up 4 days later. And ever since, I see life as a gift. And, not a lot of people think about what's going to happen after we die. And our essence survives us, but our essence is here even if you're not present. So your inspiration I can take your inspiration to other people that have never met you, and you're there. So my question to you is, have you thought about who is Catherine Gray when she's no longer here in time and space?
Sure. I mean, this is the beauty, I think, of having the blessing of being able to make a film or several films, is because it is here long after you are. And yeah, I hope that people say, you know, she led her life with purpose and made a difference in changing things for LGBTQ community as well as for women in the venture arena. That would be amazing. Like, I want to keep at that until that starts to change, and that would be a great legacy.
Thank you so much, Catherine, for being here with us. We'll put in the credit how people can contact you, but it's show her the movie, the moon. Show her. You say it. You say it.
Show her the money.
And actually, give her the money too. Yeah.
Right. And I have the Invest in Her podcast as well, which you've been on. So everything's about showing her the money.
Yes. Yes. And we deserve that too. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So thank you for listening. Catherine is one of these amazing people that continues to work for advancing causes in a way that is entertaining and very intentional, but not pushy. I love her dearly. She's fun too, and some wisdom in her approach to, just don't break you. If people don't want to listen to you, that's not your audience. You can shift, or you can find other ways to do that. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Years in Wealthy, Alicia Castillo Holley. Thanks for tuning in to our Wealthy Talks. I hope you've enjoyed this conversation. To stay connected, visit us at wealthing.com. This is Alicia Castillo Holley, your host, and until next time, yours in Wealthing.